That is perfect. That
Excellent.
is perfect.
Excellent. Kids say the darndest things.
Yes.
Indeed. So here I am in your time zone. I got confused. I thought because it was a different time zone. I wasn't sure what time we had this, but luckily the computer calendar knows all. And
well, knows more than you anyway.
That's for sure.
That's not a
That's for
high
sure.
bar. That's a low bar.
So what do we got to talk about? We missed last week because you were.
I was out of it.
You were out of it.
Stomachy kind of. I don't know what's going on. I don't like it. I'm not comfortable. Whatever.
Yeah.
And we're around kids so much that we're fighting every cold that goes through.
All the viruses, all the viri, right?
Up and down, and it's just part of the journey. I mean, we love it, so we're going to do it. Consequences and all. So it's been a couple weeks. There's been I don't think I've watched the news more than once. It's kind of dull primary season where it's a few surprises and people are showing their strength of recommendations. Trump is slipping a bit, but not enough to say, oh my God, on his part. I mean, he's you got a Yingling, don't you? Oh, Dos Equis. The Spaniard is so... Oh, Dos Equis, the most interesting man in the room.
Me. Yeah, so the funniest thing that happened recently in the news, besides all of the reflecting pool nonsense, is they sent JD Vance to go to talk to make a deal in Iran. And, the last time they sent JD Vance abroad, he saw the Pope and killed him. And so he got there
what do you mean saw the Pope and killed him?
Yeah, he met with the Pope, and the next day the Pope died.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah. I remember I was there when JD Vance... I was there at the Vatican when JD Vance's motorcade caused a bunch of turmoil.
And you were there when he died then?
No, he died right after I left. So, same.
How do we know
it's either me
you?
or JD. Right, exactly.
Right.
Well, JD actually saw him.
I kind of remember that now, but that seems long ago.
So, anyway, so JD goes to meet with all of these, important people, the leaders of Pakistan and Iran and those places. And there's this video of him standing with the other leaders, and another leader comes in to greet everyone, and he goes and gives kisses to one leader and then kisses to another, and then walks right by JD Vance. And this happened again and again. And then there's this other clip of while this is happening, JD sort of over in the corner like a sad child, and in the video he picks his nose and wipes it on the chair in the conference room. It's just so he's so unlikable, and there's all of these there's all these clips of
what's the title? JD Vance leaves a booger.
Yeah. There's all these clips of the Fox News people, all the pro-Trump people, just lamenting how little charisma JD Vance has. No one likes him. How can you be that unlikable?
I hadn't heard that.
Well, I mean, but you can look at him and hear him talk, and he makes the dumbest jokes.
I can understand why. He's a pitiful character. I saw him do a press conference the other day, a month ago or so ago, because the spokesperson was out and he was tapped, and it was the height of Iran, and it wasn't going well. And Trump said, "You know what? Let's JD be the face of this discussion." And it was interesting,
well,
because he did pretty well lying through his teeth, of course, but it was interesting how he acted and how he reacted, and he appeared to be more normal than I'd ever seen him.
Right. I mean, he definitely can put sentences together in a way that his boss can't. But
there is a low bar. Jesus Christ.
But there's Trump has said
can do that.
Trump has said to an audience if this doesn't go well, I'm going to blame it on JD.
Yeah, sure it does. If it goes well, I'll take the credit. If it goes badly, it's JD's problem.
Exactly.
He said the cabinet meetings.
And one of my favorite clips of him recently is just how transparent he is. He's like the worst possible poker player. He just says what he's thinking. Where he was talking about, he was this was at the G7, talking to the entire world, and he was like, whenever I put a blockade on the Strait of Hormuz, the price of oil goes up, and the stock market goes down, and everyone complains, and then I release the thing and the stock market goes up, and then I put it back on and the stock market goes down, and then I release it and the stock market goes up, and he's like, I have total control over all of this. Isn't that cool? And it's just dude. And also another news story that has come out that has gone totally under the radar, where it would have been career ending for any other president, is he has been buying low and selling high on oil.
Yeah.
And then doing the policy that makes the oil go up, selling, and then making the oil price go down. Sure. And then it's to his mind, you would be stupid not to do something like that. Right? It's duh, look at what I can do.
It's actually what he sought.
Exactly.
It really was any more complicated than how he personally would profit once he realized after as the primary wore on. And you may recall in the first primary that when that Grab Them by Their Pussies tape came out, that Trump felt and had communicated that he was in trouble, possibly deep trouble. That's how early that was in his career, where he thought for a moment that he was like any other mortal politician. And it's the first example, and in some ways the best example, because it's him on tape, and he's saying it, and it's in the same era where he was accused of groping women, where he was sued
and rape,
successfully for unwarranted sexual contact, convicted. Guilty, found by the court, and he's saying it all, and he recovered. That's about the time that he might have said, I could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue.
That's where he realized.
And I would not be in trouble.
Yep.
And so that after on for 4 years, off for 4 years, going on for 2 years, after a decade of us living with Trump either as president or I should have been, would have been president under
well,
Biden.
he's been in our minds for way before that, because he started really early on with the birth certificate stuff.
Well, the beginning of it, and you and I've discussed this before, is the Correspondents' Dinner when Barack Obama was the keynoter and lambasted him, and little did he know, there's got to be an interview somewhere, you could find it, of someone who said to Obama, so how do you feel about what you said now? And see how I just subscribed to him, so now I'm one of his Instagram followers, like a billion other people.
Sure.
And so if I can find the time, I'll
you message him and ask. Yeah.
What's that?
You can send him a message and ask.
Yeah, sure. He's just opened his center in Chicago. It's pretty exciting. It's interesting how, and I've seen these clips, which mean that somebody decides what I see. I'm not saying an actual live tape, but in 2 clips I saw, which is maybe 2 out of 3, it featured Michelle praising her husband and introducing her husband, and it was about her life and the impact that he had on her and people like her. And he is actually sitting one step backwards in one photo shoot, or at her side and being humble, and she's peppering it with things like, and he will hate it that I say this to you. And he's right behind you. He just kind of cringes. And they're pretty
adorable.
It's all very lovable. And you may have seen this photo comparison of the G7 with Obama sitting down in the middle of the arms of everyone, hugging literally 6 people at once, if that's possible, with his basketball arms, and people laughing, and then Trump standing nearly solo, as if he had farted loudly and very strongly, and that it created around him an absolute fog of odor, which every person, not just every leader of the free world, but every person would stay away from.
Those photos they speak so many volumes.
Just like volumes, and that's why he hates them so. That's why he will attempt to destroy what they believe in. NATO it's fucking ridiculous. It's the world order.
nothing
after
more, nothing
the
less.
2 world wars, dude. And it's held together because we're a community.
Right.
He's got no connections.
He's never had any friends, so he doesn't really understand what that means.
He's got contacts.
Right.
One of my favorite videos of him in a twisted, sad way is a frequently shown video of him at a party that he's throwing, and in the background you hear the kind of disco music, and there's lights and the people are dancing, and he's talking to Epstein, and
Sure, that's a famous video.
I don't know if we know the dialogue.
No, we don't.
But it's him dancing.
And pointing and being like,
oh, look at that one. Oh, fresh meat.
They weren't dancing that well.
He's got some rhythm and beat. There's some great IA stuff of him dancing. I love it.
Yeah, yes.
Because anything I can see that makes me laugh at him.
My favorite thing that I learned today is that the White House staff is doing their best to keep Trump away from the World Cup games, especially when there are teams from English-speaking countries, because the teams from English-speaking countries are making up these chants to mock Trump and talk about the Epstein files and stuff, and they will just chant
soccer.
Because soccer, the World Cup, and Trump is able to imagine that the world loves him because if he just surrounds himself with yes men and stuff. But when you are in a stadium full of people from another country, like Australia or Scotland or something, and they are just lambasting you like that.
Yeah. So let me say something here. Your description just now of that issue is reflective of Trump's feeling and reaction to some degree of when he is greeted with boos, and it's clear that people not only don't love him but hate him.
Right.
My thought is that what he thinks and feels is, my God, I'm famous. My God, I'm famous. My God, aren't there going to be 1 million people who see me saluting to the American flag and hear all these assholes that want to boo me and my great, great fans who want to cheer me. And it's going to be seen 200 million times. Man, am I famous. He doesn't say, oh, God, do they love me? He does not care. He does not understand or know love.
Right about
that's
that.
his issue. That's why he's a walking fucking corpse of a fucking man.
But he would rather go to a place where people are cheering for him than where people are booing.
Of course he would, and he manages that as no other politician in our lifetime has.
Right.
He's better at it.
Well, the people around him manage that.
Listen,
I think.
Trump calls the shots. If you think for a minute that he does anything other than order people around for his image, that's all he does. That's all he does. He's in charge of his brand. And he's got his kids and others telling him, here's the move to make the money. Here's the move to make the money. Boom.
But don't you think
that's all day, every day?
Don't you think the people around him are also like not under his orders, but are like trying to avoid him getting angry about anything?
Yes. Yeah.
So
yeah. Happy Trump. Happy Trump. Happy.
So they specifically won't let in someone that's against him into the Oval Office for a meeting because that would be
he's surrounded by sycophants. He's absolutely, and because he doesn't read and all he does is watch the news, the main job of his staff that I do have daily contact with him are to know what's going on in the news, to know what he's seeing on the news till 3 a.m. in the morning, and know, therefore, what he's going to be reacting to at the first time they see him at 10 o'clock when he finally is showered and coiffed and powdered and prepped with his diaper on snugly.
So there must be someone. He doesn't do
chief of staff.
He doesn't do it all to himself. There must be
chief of staff.
He doesn't have a makeup person.
Oh, yeah. Of course he does. Oh, yeah.
He must have a team.
Oh, yeah. A prep team. Yeah, he's like the king. People put his coat on him, and they make sure that he's perfect. Imagine
what a job.
What he's got to do with his fucking hair every morning. That was the start of it. I mean, this is you've seen, I've seen. You can connect to the literal physicians' explanations of what Trump's repositioned hairlines, how it worked, how it was done, and then therefore that and other videos that explain how it has to be combed. And it's like a 7-step
I haven't seen
process.
Any of this content.
And there's hairspray involved.
I don't want to.
And this is way longer. This was 8 years ago. So you're right, and then it's like, I will be seen, how will I be seen, and what he's thinking. He sits down in his jet. He sits down on Air Force One. He gets himself a beverage.
Diet Coke.
Thinks about what he wants to eat. He sits there, and everybody knows, leave him alone for just a second. Just let him, just relax. What does he think about? He sits there and he says, oh, these fucking idiots. These
Democrats.
fucking idiots. All right, let's see. Well, I gotta move on this thing about making this money here. Making this money there, making this money here, making this money there, and whatever else they're going to bring me, and then the briefings begin. He's probably got, as everybody has in this position, as I had when I was in a higher up position, I had to keep track of stuff. So I have a little index card in my pocket that told me what I was doing in 30-minute intervals all day. So I kept on time and I had my appointments and that. I don't know that he couldn't
that's too much.
that. He couldn't understand that.
He's got a person that tells him. And, and he's got to make time for golf. So, anyway, can we change to talk about anything other than
let's see. Yeah. We got a beautiful weather here in Kalamazoo, Michigan. We have a light rain falling. It's in the mid-70s. It's cooled off from a couple of weeks ago. I must say that my grass, my lawn, my flowers are taking hold like they never have before. And my trees look healthy. Those leaves are wet, and you can't tell me that a tree doesn't like it when its leaves are damp. They love it. They love it. And you tell me that a tree can't talk? Well, all you got to do is watch a tree in the breeze, bro. And that tree swaying back and forth. And the message to you is, I'm cool. I'm here. I've been here since the time of man. I'm cool. I'm here. I sway. I bay. I wonder why I cannot say I'm a tree. And they're talking to us. They're
of course.
They're the world's oldest beings.
Well.
Yes. Trees are the oldest living thing on the earth. Excuse me. They are the oldest living thing on the world. Our earth, as we call it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that. I think there might be fungi that have the same individual has lived longer.
So that would be called
and then there are
fungi. So they'd be like a fun guy because they've been around.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Fungi, they'd be around. They've been around for a long time. They know things.
And
fungi.
They're also like, I don't know if you call it living, but I think there are like bacteria that have been in stasis for millions of years.
What would be the adjective I need to use? Would be that they're the oldest living conscious thing on the planet?
You're stretching that word.
Well, I'm not sure that it's any different than a giant oak stretching its limbs. And I think you could be entangled in the roots here and not understand the interrelationship with the bugs. That when you're underground and you're laying there, those bugs are crawling in and out of every portal. In your nose, in your ears, in your mouth, in and out. Small ones. Finding their way up your penis.
That's may that be the destiny of all of us.
That's what trees do for you.
Well, I'm going to go hug
better
one.
Damn respect it.
I'm going to go hug one.
They're the oldest living. What's another word? Not a conscious, but
actively living. Well, yeah, I don't know.
Oh, I know.
Yes,
I know. Oldest living, breathing things on Earth.
I think breathing might be the correct word, yeah.
Right?
Because I wouldn't say that fungi breathe.
No, of course not.
Nor do bacteria.
No.
And plants do, and trees are probably the oldest living plants.
Now, here's another thing. Now
I'll sign off on that.
Now we got that settled. So, many trees, birch, for example, as we've discussed, are interrelated in their root system to such a degree that they form an entire community that, in its largest, is hundreds of acres of one entity with a billion parts, making it also the largest living, breathing creature on the face of the earth. Acres of a living, breathing organism. A copse, a stand of birch trees.
The quaking aspen is the famous one, located in Utah.
Yes,
and its name is Pando, and it has 47,000 stems that appear as individual trees. It covers 106 acres as a single plant. That's bonkers, man.
So oldest and largest. And so I spend a good day, a good part of my day. Now,
a good day of your part?
No, not. I ain't drunk. I'm just drinking. Oh. The sun goes down, my friends clown around. I just tell them, I don't care what y'all thinking. I ain't drunk. I'm just drinking. Because I live a large part of my life in the second floor in my home, surrounded by trees, and in my yard.
You're like up in the canopy.
Yeah, exactly. I learned so much from reading that Pulitzer Prize-winning book novel called the Understory.
Yes.
And
Overstory?
The Overstory.
I went.
The Overstory of the Understory.
Yes.
Of which your bug crawling example was a part.
Yes. Indeed.
Right. That's where that came from. So that we celebrate the beetles, the large black beetles that are large.
I like George, really.
They're so large.
I'm sorry.
That they struggle to fit up your nostril. But somehow they do. They clamber in there.
Yeah.
And the thing that's bad for you is that this happens when you're still alive. Listen, I think we need to print T-shirts. On the back is a picture of you underground with a beetle trying to crawl up your nose with a tree.
Would you call this Beatlemania?
Let's hope so. Oh
yeah.
My God. So do we missed last week, right? So I haven't talked to you since the Mojo Riot played out at the dock.
I also have some stories, but you
go.
You
could jump in one. Jump in.
Well,
No.
I went to Amsterdam.
Oh yeah. I saw the pictures. That's better than going to the dock in Richland.
First of all, I had another one of. This is the third time this has happened to me. where, like, you remember the time when I went to Athens and I had miscalculated when I would have a hotel because my flight landed at like 2 a.m. on, say, the 13th, and so I booked a flight for the 13th. I booked a hotel for the 13th, but like that means there wasn't a hotel that night. I had a similar issue in Amsterdam where I thought that I had a hotel booked for me the day that I arrived, but it turns out I didn't.
Oh Lord!
Not available, or you must.
So I went to the hotel where I was going to be staying the next night, and it was a Holiday Inn Express, I think was the brand, and they said, nope, you've got a room for tomorrow, but not tonight. And I said, okay, well, what can I do? Turns out, so I talked to this reception person, and they escalated me up to their manager, and I was talking to him, and he said, we've got like 7 or 8 Holiday Inn Expresses around the city. I can probably get you into one of those. And he said it would be 85 euros or something. And I was like, okay, but I was also in talks with the conference organizer, who said, oh, I think we've overbooked at the hotel that you're currently at, and some people aren't coming, so maybe we actually have a room we can give you. Give us some time. So I sat around for an hour in the hotel, actually getting work done on my laptop, and an hour went by, and I went back to the hotel people, and they said, yeah, actually the organizers like underbooked, like there were no rooms in this hotel because the conference had overbooked, and that because there was so much demand, like the hotel room that would have been 80 is now 300 euros for that one night.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, that sucks. So what can you do? Like, I say, well, okay, I mean, I'm not going to sleep in the street. And this guy said, but you know, if I tell them you're my family, we can get you in on the employee family discount at this other place. And I was like, why would you do that for me? We look nothing alike. This is a short Indian man. And he said, yeah, but we can totally do this. Let me call them up. And anyway, long story short, he booked 2 rooms in this other hotel, one for him and one for me, even though he has a house, but he had to book 2 rooms, one under his name and me as a guest. And he said, okay, go to this hotel, give them my name, tell them you're my family, and pay for both rooms, and tell them that I will be by later to pick up my key. Because if I don't come by and pick up my key, then they're going to know that I'm pulling a little scam here. And I was like, okay. And so it came out to be like 120 euros instead of 300.
Wow.
And I was like, dude, you didn't have to do any of that for me.
Talk
like
about
he
the
just
extra mile, man.
He just like went and like risked getting in trouble with his employer to save my ass for no reason. It's just like
he gets a sticker, man. There
are people in this world. Like when I gave my I got the email of like, how was your stay? I specifically named him, and I said this gentleman went above and beyond. I didn't say doing what. I just said he's amazing. He deserves a raise. So that was kind of. So I from the airport I went to the hotel I thought I was staying at, and then I had to go to the hotel where I actually could stay. But by the time I got there, it was too late. All the restaurants were closing, so I had like some Pringles and a beer in the hotel lobby for dinner. And then I got up early the next morning to go and check in back into the hotel. And by chance, they said, we actually have a room available for you, but there's a early check-in fee. And I was like, well, so what am I paying for if you have the room? And
yeah, why?
And you could totally give it to me, but you still want me to pay? And they said, but you don't have to pay the early check-in fee if you will sign up to our membership program. I was like, fine. So I did, put in some shit online, and they were like, okay,
Holiday Inn?
Here's your card.
Good. I'm a member. It's good. It helps.
It's like
It's not Holiday Inn. It's a whole
IGH or some crazy internet
IGH, yeah,
something in a hotel or whatever.
I
anyway,
was a member. I'll tell you, I got so many points from being all these members because when I traveled so much, and
if you travel a lot, you get
it helped with some luxurious free trips. So
but
today
I travel just not enough to enjoy any of that.
So I gave an example of a kind of an economic issue like this, where today I got to spray the basement, concrete walls of this basement that we're reselling this house. And so I need a paint, and I need a spray gun. I need a special paint, which I bought fairly cheaply. And I'm going to buy a spray gun, buy one if I can get it for like $175, $180, because to rent one for one day is $104. And the quality of the ones you rent might be a little bit better of one you can buy for $180. But there's a possibility that I might need a second coat, which means it's got to have some dry time. So
it kills me that power tools are not all rentable, because so many there are professionals that need them every like 5 times a week, but there are so many of us that are not professionals that just need a jigsaw once a year.
Yeah.
Or just need a like.
So I'm going to buy it, and this thing comes up and it says join. Get a blah blah credit
membership
card today and get a $200 certificate you can use immediately. I said, all right, I'll do that. And like 4 minutes later, I was approved and I had a new credit card. And it said then continue shopping, and I went shopping, and it said check out, and I went to check out. And it showed that they owed me $5. And it'll be here on the day the paint gets here. So I said the paint that was recommended was nearly $300, $280, $260 for a 5-gallon bucket. I got a bucket of the stuff I'm using for $80. And the spray rent was $104, maybe $208, but the purchase was -$5. So for $72, I've got all the paint and the equipment I need to spray paint a basement. I think I might have said.
The credit card companies are so desperate to get people in the door, so that, in the hopes that you turn out to be someone that doesn't know how to use a credit card,
a loser,
and they can bilk you. Yeah, I'm sorry, that's their word.
They hate me. Credit card companies hate me. I pay my total bill within 21 days every month. I don't ever pay interest, and I use them when I want. Blah blah blah. I got a few in my pocket. So I got an issue I got to share with you.
Yes.
So
I won't tell anyone.
This scotch is good. It's all gone.
Yeah. Oh no.
There's 2 things you need to know. One, I put a beer in the freezer 20 minutes ago,
Uh-oh.
Number 2, the scotch is in the cupboard next door. I'm going to have to take a 1-minute break and run and get my beer. I hate to do this.
That's okay.
I hate to do this.
We'll survive.
Hey, go to commercial break.
Okay.
I couldn't resist the crackers.
No chewing.
Well, here we are.
Oh. So it's not frozen.
Is there a better sound?
Nope.
Well, one.
So, let's see. I've got 2 interesting stories from Amsterdam. So, I asked you if you've ever heard of Boom Chicago.
Oh, right.
And it's this English language comedy place in Amsterdam, founded like in the 90s. And there are so many famous people that owe their career to getting their start there. Like Seth Meyers, for example. He apparently like got onto SNL because he was spotted there, which is wild. Jordan Peele did some time there. Jason Sudeikis, like lots of fairly famous people that in their early 20s went there to, why does anyone in their early 20s go to Amsterdam? Yeah.
Go figure.
So and I had heard about this, and I knew about it. I knew it was famous, and I always thought, it'd be cool to go there one day. And then I realized, when I was already there, hey, wait a minute. I'm in Amsterdam. I've got a free Saturday night because I booked my flight out on Sunday because I wanted to have Saturday to explore. So I bought some tickets, and I went, and it was very interesting because I think only one of the 4 comics was a native English speaker. He was from Ireland. All the other comics English was their second language. And it was all comedy for Europeans where English is their second language. Which means that the comedy there's a different flavor to it, because you can't make, like, if you're a U.S. comic in the U.S., you can make a joke about, Taco Bell or some American institution that everyone in the audience is gonna understand or know about. But if you're doing it for a more international audience, you have to, make the jokes different. And like some of their like wordplay jokes just weren't funny to me as a native speaker, but the other people thought it was funny. And it's hard to exactly explain.
And all in English.
All in English, yeah.
And what was the name of the place again?
Boom Chicago.
Wow, what a strange.
Because they were all like, not rejects, but they were all people that came out of Second City in Chicago. That scene, and so they were like, we want to recreate this somewhere else.
Yeah.
And the decoration was all like super American. Like they served Budweiser at the bar, and so that was a fun.
So, and what was the given that the United States now is so, in this state in particular, absolutely many years into public dispensaries for pot and whatnot. What's that scene like in Amsterdam then? It's more open smoking than sales.
It's not. No. What's weird to me, like I went to Amsterdam in 1999, briefly, for a couple days, and What's different now is that now in the rest of Europe, you can't smoke indoors.
No matter what it is.
Yeah, anything,
Right.
because smoking is banned indoors. And before, in 25 years ago, there were all the cafes, everyone was sitting outside smoking, or inside smoking, but the rule is, as I understand it, is there are differentiated from cafes. There are things called coffee shops, and in coffee shops you can buy and smoke marijuana, and it's
Why is that? Why does that break the rule of you can't smoke inside?
Because you can only smoke inside there. You can't smoke outside the coffee shop.
But I thought it was against the law to smoke inside.
Right, but except for coffee shops.
Why? It's excluded, like an exclusion.
I don't think you can smoke tobacco inside. I don't know.
Well,
it's weird. There's a special exclusion. Yes,
it's an allowance. I mean,
right.
you can pass. There's a bill up that says that you cannot smoke inside, and you got a guy from downtown, represents downtown Amsterdam, who says, if you don't get my vote, you can't pass this bill, and I will give you my vote if you will make this place exempt, or this block exempt, or this city exempt, or whatever.
Otherwise we're going to have people smoke. Otherwise, we're going to still be selling the pot, and people are going to be smoking it outside.
Yes,
and sticking up the streets.
Well, is that so bad? Smoking outside? I don't think so. It'd be preferable to me to smoke it inside, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. But
I mean, a room that's full of smoke from a bunch of people smoking pot. I don't know. I'd rather sit on the patio.
I went into a couple of them and just to look up, because in the same way that microbreweries have a screen that shows all the different types of beers that they have. Yeah. They had screens of all the different types of strains and stuff.
Yeah. Well, and this is typical here in every dispensary.
Right. Okay. It's common there.
Yeah. I mean, you go in, you show your ID. As escort brings you in. They have these tables that are clear plastic that run some 14 feet long, and they're sloped like the slope of a roof, so that there's a right side and a left side of the table. And every 8 or 12 inches or so, there's a little tube, and in the bottom of the tube is a bud, and at the top of the tube is a vent. And
you can smell it.
So you can smell it, and so there are 16
without contaminating it
on both sides of this table, which gives you the what it is, what the THC percentages, etc., what it costs, etc. And in the case, they have cards that say today's specials. And so you can immediately shop. And there are 3 of these long tables. One table holds nothing but gummies and edibles and things like that, and one I described you, and then another one is pre-rolls,
right?
And mostly pre-rolls and maybe some equipment.
But what was weird to me, and only because, as you may recall, a couple years ago, I worked for a company that was in the cannabis industry, and I learned all about how the U.S. Regulations work with tracking THC and CBD numbers and things like that. In Amsterdam, there are no labels like that. There are no, this is the percentage of THC in the package you're about to buy. Which kind of blew my mind, because that's kind of important.
it's like real important.
Right. It's like, so
If
it was
you don't
just
want
like,
to overdose on marijuana,
right.
which of course you can, and it
Right,
can
but
have
it was
dire
just like,
consequences.
but they were just like soft, mild, heavy, extra heavy. Like it was just,
well,
that was what.
well, those may be defined ranges then, so that if you're the chemist and you got to decide whether this strain meets this test, you're testing for THC level, and you're using some standard to define it as mild, moderate, intense.
Yeah,
whatever.
but there's just like it makes me crave regulation, like in the same way that like the whole supplements industry.
You crave regulation. You are an odd man.
But in the same way that like the supplements industry, like I think John Oliver had a really good episode on this about how there's just some of the stuff that they sell is absolute poison, and some of the stuff they sell is like sawdust, and you just can't tell what you're getting because there's nothing's going through any sort of regulation. So anything of that sort that you buy and ingest, it's just like, bro, you get what you get.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
So-
I wonder though if communication with this seller would be the simple response.
yeah,
Tell me
but
blah 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 blah, and then they say, "Yeah, here you go."
I guess is probably
Yeah.
the.
I mean, do you know? If you say, "Hey, I'm used to high THC level, 40, 44, 47%, whatever." What do you got like in that range? And they tell you.
Probably.
What you would think. And they could say, "I don't know, man. We don't keep track of shit like that, man. I mean, you want to know whether it's like low."
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the vendors are going to be like that.
Or I try them all, and I figure out which they are, and I write it down, and that's
I lost
all
the paper.
know. So what do you want? Come on, man! I got like people behind you, man. And
Exactly. That's
get in
that's
trouble,
exactly what I meant.
man. This is a business, man.
So one other little story from my Amsterdam trip that is just.
So what a great thing, though, this comedy thing you went to. I mean, you've been to one of the most famous historic comedy clubs in the world. I mean, this is like epic. It's epic.
This is one of the more interesting ones in Europe, I think. Okay, so remember, before I get my other interesting Amsterdam story, remember when I went to New York City and I ended up just through chance and good luck at the
Yes.
Comedy Cellar there.
Yes.
So on my flight here, one of the movies I chose to watch was called "Is This Thing On?" And it's about it's directed and also somewhat starring Bradley Cooper, but the primary protagonist is played by Will Arnett. I don't know if that.
Yes, I know Will Arnett.
And he is in a marriage with Laura Dern,
Huh.
and their marriage is falling apart. And as I've said before, I really kind of hate marriage falling apart dramas. But
yeah, you have said that.
But this guy, the premise is he just by accident, because he wants he's walking around New York City and he wants to go have a drink somewhere.
Yes.
And he stumbles into the Comedy Cellar.
Oh, really?
And says, "Hey, I just want a drink." And they're like, "The cover charge is $15." And he's like, $15? I just want a drink. He says, "Well, it's free to come in if you sign up to go on stage." He was like, "Sure, I'll do that." And so he does that, and he goes and has a drink, and then they call him up, and he has to go on stage, and he's got nothing planned, but he just starts bitching and moaning about his marriage, and gets some laughs, and people say, like, he gets off, and some of the other comics are like, that was pretty shit, but for your first time, that was actually really good. And so he, like, unbeknownst to his separated wife, he like starts doing this and going back there, and it culminates in one time. Where his wife is like on a pseudo date with a guy, and he takes her there
in the club,
and he takes her to the club, and he's up there on stage bitching about his wife, but
his wife's Laura Dern.
Yes. But one of the funniest things, well, first of all, it's like the Comedy Cellar, like where I took a selfie with the famous place. But after one of his acts, the next guy on is Dave Attell, who is the comedian that I saw there and who, like, I got a selfie with later.
Oh, really?
Which is just wild. Like, he's a super famous regular there. Anyway, speaking of famous comedy clubs, that was a thing that I was reminded of, and I thought was cool. It's a pretty good movie. It plays well.
I wrote it down.
Is this thing on?
I like Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, he plays it.
I've never seen him in anything I don't like. Never.
It took me a second to recognize him in this. Like he's that good of an actor, I guess. So this other crazy fucking thing that happened to me in Amsterdam. So we're at this tech conference, and there's all these different talks, and most of them I look at the title and I'm like, this is boring, I'm not interested in this. And then they have this section that are called lightning talks, where it's like a 7-minute talk rather than a 20-minute talk. And those are not, the titles are not put on the schedule. And typically I don't attend those either, because they're often also not that interesting. But I was with a friend, and he was like, "Hey, let's go see the lightning talk." So I was like, "Sure, let's go." So we go, and the first guy is this young Asian dude who says, who's got he's clearly from California, and he's talking about he's the co-founder of this AI startup, and he mentions the name, and I'm like, wait a minute, I've heard of that. This was a thing that was super crazy viral a couple years ago. It's called cognition AI. Not that means anything to you, and it shouldn't. But it's so he gave his little spiel, and I looked him up, and he's worth $1.2 billion. And so I found him, and I was like, "Hey, great talk." And this guy that was with him comes up to me, and he's like a recruiter for their company, and he's like, "Hey, why don't you come to our after party? It's at the Amsterdam Soho House. If you're familiar with Soho houses,
yeah."
I went to one randomly with Jacob in London.
Floors
of just where it's like a $500 a month like membership fee, and then you get to hang out with cool rich people. He's like, "Hey, come to this thing at the Soho House. It's in the middle of Amsterdam. We'll give you a €50 Uber coupon, so it won't cost you anything to get there." And so after the conference, the same thing that happened where I went to the Comedy Cellar, where rather than go to the conference after party, I went with somebody else. I did the same thing, and I was like, I'm going to go to this other thing. So I got to hang out with this billionaire for a little while, and we were having cocktails and talking about the future of AI and stuff, and there were maybe 12 people there, at this little. And it was like bottomless cocktails, although there was not much alcohol.
What were you drinking?
It was a spicy. It was called a picante or something, but it was a slightly spicy. I don't know if there was supposed to be rum or something in it, but it was pretty lightweight. It was mostly sugar and ice.
And did you not order it, or it was just given to you?
No, there was an open bar, and there were like 3 things on the menu that they were going to give us. But then the wait staff came out with all of this like finger food and stuff, and they kept like pushing it on us, like these sliders and
what
things.
What was it? Describe it. I'm
Sliders.
A finger food fanatic.
There were these little hamburgers and also shrimp and croquettes and other little meatball sort of things. But
sounds good.
Yeah, and so we hung out there for like an hour and a half, and then we met up with the exact kind of guy. I've met him before. He's got long hair and piercings and tattoos, and he's just kind of this crazy guy. And he's like, I know the best bar in the red light district. Come on, let's go. And I'm like, I'm going to follow you.
No shit.
And so we walked and walked and walked, and we got into the red light district, and that's where we ordered the Jaeger shots.
Oh.
These little test tubes.
Oh no!
I was like, okay, what could go wrong on this evening? But it was
it was like the taco dance music lights, crazy what?
No, it wasn't. This particular place, it was more like a sort of a rock biker bar, but the music wasn't so loud. Like we could have good conversations, which was nice. But just a crazy, here I'm having Jaeger shots in the red light district. Like how often does that happen? After having a dinner with a billionaire.
What a life!
It's like, what the fuck? Also, get this, I was talking to the billionaire, and somehow the name of one of his employees, who is a friend of mine, came up, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm buds with him," and he was like, "Hey, let's FaceTime him," and so this fucking billionaire FaceTimes this friend of mine that is his employee, and the guy comes up on screen, and it's clear that we know each other. Like, how the fuck does that happen?
Jeez, wild story, man.
Not that I'm.
Did you end up having a dinner later, or were the appetizers?
No, the appetizers were plenty.
Really,
appetizers and beer, but it was
so you switched to beer before the night was over.
Yeah, the actual cocktail things there was nothing
cheesy.
In them. But
you mean they weren't strong, or
yeah, there was very little alcohol. They were kind of delicious, but
that's odd.
Well, if it's an open,
no, I mean, well, you should know that you're drinking a drink, for God's sake.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. But I had some really nice conversations with some of the other people as well. And so this is my first contact with the recruitment staff of this company. I'm not expecting to get a job there or anything, but on the third or fourth time that you bump into those people, then they're like, "Oh yeah, I remember you."
Yeah.
And then that's cachet.
But the recruiter dude you described as a recruiter dude, he was with you in the 12 who were there.
Yeah. And he was way more charismatic than the billionaire nerd. Turns out,
were they Indian descent?
No, Chinese.
Chinese, both of them.
Both of them. And I happen to know the CEO is as well. But they're based in Silicon Valley.
Do you speak any Chinese by chance?
I do not.
Not even hello, how are you? Do you want a drink?
Nope.
Huh. Not even good morning. Who are you? Nothing like that.
Nope.
Huh.
I got nothing.
I'll have a double espresso.
Do the Chinese drink coffee? I don't know much about that. They seem more like a
Fuck no. They drink tea, man.
tea people, right?
Just
exactly.
tea, yeah. Mandarin with mandarin oranges. You know.
Let's.
The fuck do I know what a Chinese
Let's get.
drinks? I don't know. There's a bunch of them. Whatever they do, I wish I was part of it. They drink fucking Coca-Cola. Are you kidding me? They open up a Coke in the morning. I went down to the kitchen and I grabbed myself a beer. Don't. Well, so my story here as we close in on the witching hour is the Mojo Riot played to yet another packed house.
Nice.
At the dock in Richland, which is an old place, been around quite a few years, high up on a hill with a deck that overlooks Gull Lake in Richland, Michigan, outside of Kalamazoo, Michigan. Once upon a time, before the marina was built, it had a large view of the lake, but the marina that they built blocked a good part of it. But nonetheless, a breezy, and you can see the water. And they have the biggest stage we've played on yet.
Nice.
We had so much room. It was so weird.
Almost too big?
And no, fuck no, no such thing. No such thing. And we were to play outside, weather permitting. As it turns out, it was kind of mild, but it was 62 degrees at 6 p.m. when we were to start. And unless it's 70, general attitude would be it's going to be chilly. And particularly a large part of our audiences are women, at least half or more, usually more. Blah, blah, blah. So they moved us inside, which was great. That's what we hoped for. And it was biker night. And it was also beautiful outside all day, albeit in the 60s rather than the 70s, but gorgeous sunny day. And there were golfers galore. So
Okay.
I played in the place 3 times with different. I played with Johnny Bergen out there, the international blues guitarist. We had a fun time. I played like 3 tunes with him out there. Then I played with a band called LTD Experience, which I said to the dude who ran the band, the guy who ran the band, I said, man, why in your name are you letting people know that you have limited experience? What is the LTD? It should be ESQ. It should be Esquire Experience or something, but not that. Mrs. would be better than limited. And so I've got an idea of how many people are in the place, etc. And it's a big dance floor, tables to the left, then 3 times as many tables off to the right, and a deck behind us. Every seat in the house but one table was full. We played to a packed house. There were dancers all night long.
Sweet.
Including children, some of our grandchildren. I had an amazing benefit of having my granddaughter kneel at the foot of the stage, who is 3, and shake her shoulders perfectly to the music. And to her mother, I said, she's fine, leave her be. And one little girl named Jordan, who is the daughter of a friend of my daughter, and Allison is her mother, and they're great, great family. And she got a hold of tambourine that a friend of mine named Gail always brings to when she hears music. She likes to dance and play the tambourine while she dances.
Is that annoying for the band if the audience brings instruments?
Well, so here's the story. So somehow Jordan, who's all of 8 years old, growing like a little weed. She's got this tambourine, and not only is she playing it, but she's playing it pretty well.
Right.
She's keeping the beat well. And she's also dancing, but there's cacophony of dancers and music and whatever. At one point, I have kind of a boom mic that has a long post sticking out into the audience that I use for proximity to my mouth and face relative to where I can put the stand, so it protrudes a little bit. They're not just to the edge of the stage. She'd put the tambourine on it. And I said, no, don't do that. Don't do that. But it was funny because I'm not allowed to use the tambourine in the band. I've been forbidden because I can't do it a little. I just have a hard time. And if you're going to play on a sound stage a tambourine and you want it to sound something less than overpowering, you can tap it with your fingers. That's about it. If you shake, rattle, and roll, you better have somebody running your sound system that all but turns your mic off.
Wow. Okay.
You know, but who's got sound men to do that? I mean, you know, we're pre-programmed.
More cowbell.
So as she is playing, Jordan is playing this tambourine, I said to Justin, who's the leader of our band, who forbid me to use the tambourine, although there's one song that I use it, and I've refused not to. And it's at the beginning of Bad Bad Leroy Brown, where Justin starts singing and says, da-da-da-da in Chicago, and I rattle the tambourine. In the baddest part of town. A man named Leroy. So there's just those two little things. So I said to him, I said, that's it. I said, so I almost invited her on stage. I wanted her to stand between you and I and just play the shit out of that tambourine for you, because I just know how much you love it. Funny. So it was quite a gig, and because we're now not rehearsing anymore because it's too much of a hassle to tear everything down and load it and then build it back up at a practice, and when the practice is done, tear it down and load it up again. If we're playing twice a month, that's what weekly practice looks like, so we don't do it. So we're not practicing at all till October, but we've got a set list.
Cool.
Now we're in our third gig in different cities, different locations, different bars, playing the same sets. So we're comfortable with it and getting better.
You can do that. Yep.
And it's fun.
Nice.
I'm playing looser than I have ever. Is that a good thing? Last time I played, I didn't have any major mistakes. I missed a half note. I missed a note by a half note, and my boss man had the temerity to call it a mistake, and I said it was almost a mistake. It was almost a mistake.
A half mistake.
I think I gotta go, dude.
All right, I gotta go too.
On the south side of Chicago, in the baddest part of town, you better just beware of a man who's there. His name Leroy Brown. Oh well, Leroy, more than trouble. You see, he stand about 6'4". Well, all the ladies call him a treetop lover. The men just call him sir. And he's bad. Leroy Brown, the baddest man in that whole damn town. Badder than old King Kong. He's meaner than a junkyard dog. Oh well. Oh, Leroy's a gambler. You know he wears his fancy clothes. He got a Lincoln Continental in his garage. He got a Eldorado too. Well, before the night was over, you know he learned an important thing. He saw love was stranger, all the danger, and love is a hurting thing. And he's bad. Leroy Brown, the baddest man in that whole damn town. Better than old King Kong. I said meaner. I said meaner. I said meaner. John. This house is clean.
Okay, that does it for episode number 283. You can find the show notes at happyhour.fm/283. I highly recommend looking at the 60 Minutes story about Boom Chicago. It's pretty cool. You can help support the show at patreon.com/happyhour, where if you give it the Gin Martinis level, you can watch a video of these calls. See you in 2 weeks.